somewhat ugly button. Perfect for us. So let's go into our index.view. Let's use this component or a dashboard page. That's fine too. And I'm here, and you know what's so interesting is within Vue or within Nuxt, excuse me, we don't even have to import the component. You literally just declare base button, and boom, it pops in there. Ay, ay, ay. Folks, what is going on? Welcome to a Nuxt tutorial. This is Pags. Welcome to Program with Pags. I am back home for the holidays, so it's a bit of a change of scenery. I've kind of got my on the go setup here. So yeah, we don't have music and all the fun stuff, but we're gonna roll with it anyway. So let's dive into today's tutorial. The tutorial is going to be on Nuxt. Nuxt is a JavaScript framework. It's a server-side rendered front-end framework for Vue. So if you're familiar with the Vue ecosystem, sliding into Nuxt is going to be pretty effortless. Now it has been a while since I've used it, so let's go ahead and look at the documentation. Let's see. So how to use Nuxt, right? Let's just fire it up. So and specifically we want Nuxt 3. So if I remember correctly, it's nuxi init is going to be your command in the terminal to get started. So let's find that real quick. So right here, boom, npx nuxi at latest init, and then we name the project. So let's go ahead and steal that real quick. Guys, let me zoom in. I don't have all my monitors with me, so I feel on my heels a bit. So let's do this. So npx nuxi init. I'm just going to go ahead and copy that in, but instead of doing the project name here, we can name the project. I am already in a folder called Nuxt Tutorial, so I'm just going to say /. But if you're not in a folder already, this is where you can name your project, whatever you want to name it. So let's go ahead and say / here, and it should, if I remember correctly, pop us up with a bunch of configurations and options we could choose from. So let's go ahead and do this. Is Nuxt 3.10 installed? You guys may or may not have that. Obviously, I'll say OK to proceed. npm is going to be the package I want to use. Obviously, there's Bun nowadays and Yarn and all those things, which are really powerful package managers. So it's downloading, and Nuxt is very similar to Next.js, at least in the sense of how they have all their folders, kind of do all the pre-configuration and routing. You don't need to build your own routing. You actually just build a pages folder, and then that pages folder is automatically routed with all of your routes. So we'll cover a few of those things. This isn't going to be the end-all be-all tutorial for Nuxt. This will just kind of be dipping our toes in the water, largely because I too haven't fully dove in. I built one huge project. It was a dermatology project for a company in Nuxt, but that's my experience with it, and then obviously as a Vue developer at a capillary collection startup. So I do have a lot of experience in the Vue ecosystem. Let's say initialize Git repository. I won't do it here. I'll do it separately. But yeah, so this is our Nuxt starter package right here. Let's explore it. We have our dist folder. This is what gets built on every build. Anytime we run the server, we have our app.vue file. So this is largely where all of our project will be routed to. And then again, we'll extrapolate and build on things. So we have our config. This is, if you need to, what did I have to do? Do authentication stuff, any sort of AWS configurations. If we need to do Tailwind, we may have to declare things in here. So we'll cover that. We'll try to build some things, and let's go to our package.json real quick. Let's see our commands that we have, our script commands right out of the box. We have our Nuxt build, and then we have dev as well. And that's how we start our server. So in like React, it's npm run start. In Vue, I think it's also npm run serve, if I'm not mistaken, and then npm run dev is how we're going to do it Nuxt. So that should fire up our server here, and here we have our Nuxt portfolio. I love this loading page. It has this beautiful animation with it. Guys, I have so many tabs open. Let me close out of this real quick, and let's just put Nuxt on one side of the screen, and then the code on the left side. So let me resize this real quick. But you can see that we downloaded it correctly. We have our starting kind of configuration right here, and I'll go ahead and resize the window. of a little bit of overlap, but not a ton. Yeah, so this is where the Nuxt welcome is. If we go ahead and start building here and say hello, we should see that pop up, and we do at the top of the screen. So we do know it's working. Now what we want to do is through our app.view, we could do things like run our pages and explore some of the routing and stuff. I just want to kind of explore some of the Nuxt features with you guys, just bird's eye view of how brilliant Nuxt is. And we could also talk about server-side rendering. Um, but just off the very beginning, it's a server-side rendered JavaScript framework. So let's go ahead and build our pages folder. And in this pages folder, we can then define all of our page routes. So anything that we want to route to, we just literally build in the pages folder. We do have to declare Nuxt page, I believe, and Nuxt layout. We could do things like that. You could have a Nuxt layout as well. So the layout, maybe you log into your application, you have a certain layout, and then maybe on your public version of the application, you have a different layout, or when people are checking out, maybe that's a different flow layout. So we can kind of mess around with a few of those. I don't want this tutorial to be crazy long, but I do want it to obviously instantiate enough about Nuxt for people to start diving in. So let's see. Actually, I'm just gonna go ahead and pull up that old. Oh, guys, I did not mean to swap photo. Lovely photo, but let's go ahead and pull up this project real quick. So I'm just gonna. I don't really want to drop it in, but I do want to steal some stuff from this. This project was huge, by the way. It was big. It was very big. So I'm gonna go to app.view in this project, and this is what I had to declare here. So let's steal the Nuxt layout and the Nuxt page. So I'm just going to copy that over on top. And again, guys, all this code will be available in the description. I'll have my own repository for it for you guys. But what we need to do is have a layout component. So we'll build a layouts folder where we can define the page meta. Like I said, if we want like a header and a footer for one layout, and then the content in the middle, and then maybe a sidebar for another piece of content. And then the page as well. The routing is all already handled. Between declaring the Nuxt page and doing the pages directory, we should have all the routing handled. So let's have a obviously our index page will be this app.view, or if we do index.view, I believe it should what's it called? It should have this should be our just home route right here, this index.view page. So let's go ahead and build a script tag real quick. Actually, what is the snippet? I think it's view 3 TS setup. That's what we want. Okay, so this is a view snippet that I have. If you don't have that, I don't know if you guys saw how I typed just view -3, right? Or I think vbase3 even is one of them. vbase3 setup. But that setup, those snippets are available if you go to your extensions and then download view snippets. So you can see I have one of these installed. It looks like I have the Sarah Drasner one installed. So that's what this one looks like with 2.3 million downloads or installs. Okay, so let's get back to our application though. We're obviously getting an error here. Not a huge deal. Let's refresh, just make sure everything is up to date on the server. So the reason why we have a blank page now, we don't see the Nuxt welcome, is because we replaced all that with this Nuxt layout, Nuxt page thing. So these are just kind of meta things to set up Nuxt, but there's no content associated to them. The very first piece of content that we have is going to be our index.view page. So we could say this is our home page, and this should pop up. Boom, there it is. Home page, nice. And then let me show you guys how this kind of works with the pages directory. So let's say we have a dashboard page or a pricing page or something. We'll build both, right? Let me just steal this. And then let me rename it and say dashboard page. And then I'll also build another page and call it pricing page or something, right? Just pricing.view. Let's copy that in there. This will be called the pricing page. So now if we check our URL params, let me zoom in on this so you guys can see very clearly. So our normal /home route is just backslash. There's nothing special with that. But if we change our params and and check out one of the namings for this. So if we add dashboard, because we just built that param or that page, if we add dashboard, now we're taken to the dashboard page, which is all the stuff that we put on this dashboard page. So that pops up here. As well, if we change our backslash our route to the pricing page, we see the pricing page, which is everything on this pricing.view page right here. So if I add all that, we can see it matches that directly. So that's kind of the rough idea about how these layout or the pages work. You can see if we pre-configure this app.view file, if we pre-configure it with a Nuxt page component, or I'm not sure what it would be called in this. Maybe it is a Nuxt component. You can see it handles all the routing out of the box. We just have to make sure we have a pages folder, and then all that routing is available for us. So let's explore a little bit more about Nuxt. We can also do a components folder, and right out of the box, I really liked Nuxt when it first, especially Nuxt 3 when it popped up, because it was so much farther ahead. Next 14 is catching up with a lot of this stuff, but this was so far ahead for the last 6 months that I was so just impressed, and I loved it, every bit of it. So in our components folder, let me grab a sip real quick. In our components folder, we can build components, no different than we would have. Guys, this is a bird's eye view. We're not getting super granular. This is just kind of bird's eye view of how Nuxt works, and we could get granular later. But in our components folder, we can build base components. So let's say base button, right? Let's build a few components, and let me build it out. So view 3, let's use our snippet. And let's build this as a button, right? So I'll say button or click here, right? And of course, we can pass in all of our props and do all that stuff. Let me see if I remember how to do that, right? So define props, and you can actually do this, and then maybe we could have a text or button text as props, right? And we could declare it as an optional thing. And I can actually declare this as a prop like this and say const props if I wanted to. I could also just not, and then even just access this through the mustache syntax. So like that'll work perfect. That'll actually pass in the prop as a component. And this was just us building a quick component. Obviously, this isn't a full-blown button, but let's make it a full-blown button. So I'll say button. That's fine for the class, and then let's go down to our style. And let's build this button out. So we'll say background, background. Yeah, I had it right. Background color. We really should just do tailwind or something, because this is obviously going to be a bit slow. So it's going to be a really ugly button for right now. But let's do that. That's fine. So the first is top down, right? And then the second is left and right, is it? I vaguely forget with CSS. I use Tailwind so much now. So here's our really ugly button. Let's make the color. I'll make it a bunch prettier, actually. So we'll say border radius, and that'll be 16 pixels. And then we could say a little bit of box shadow. Let's see, 1 pixel, 2 pixel RGBA. Oop, not that. RGBA, just like that. 0.1 or 0.2 or so at the end. So this should be at least a somewhat ugly button. Perfect for us. So let's go into our index.view. Let's use this component, or a dashboard page. That's fine too. Let's go back to our home page. Let's change the route to our dashboard page. And I'm here, and you know what's so interesting is within Vue, or within Nuxt, excuse me, we don't even have to import the component. You literally just declare base button, and boom, it pops in there. Now we need to obviously give this a prop, so we could say button text. I could say click me as a button, and that should be our prop. Oh, what did I do wrong? Oh, there it is. Okay. So obviously super ugly. We can clean all this up with CSS and Tailwind, of course, but But the biggest thing is these components right out of the box. They're very, you don't have to import it like in React, for instance. In your script area, you have to say import base button from, from components, and you do have to do this in Vue typically. Now you can build stuff in Vue to auto import stuff in your layouts and your configs, but what's really cool about Nuxt is out of the box, you don't even have to import the things. It's just it knows because it's in the components folder. It knows that your component is this. So it's really powerful for design because then all of a sudden, look how minimal this file is. If this is your dashboard page, maybe you don't even have too many components. Maybe you just have some text, and a few headers or something, and a few CSS things. It's like it could really compact your files very rapidly. So it's a very powerful framework. So between the components, that's really interesting, right? Really cool and powerful. And then our pages, we can route them and navigate them really quickly, or at least build out the routes. Now, if we obviously wanted to build links, we could use our A tags still and say let's go dashboard, right? And then obviously route to the dashboard, guys. And then I want to show you the layouts, and then let's probably wrap it up there. I think it's going to be a good idea. So dashboard. Pricing, I'll just have all these A tags here so that we don't have to constantly click. Better yet, let's build a component. Let's build a base link component, right? That links everything together. So I'll say v base setup, guys. And I know I'm kind of flying through everything, so I apologize for that. But steal the code. You know what I mean? Steal the code. It's in the repository. So we have this, and then we have our home page, our home route, if you will. So boom, here's all of our links left and right of each other in our base link component, and we can actually put this in one of our layouts even. So, or we could put it in each one of these things, right? But let's even just put it in the. Will this work? May not work. App.view might be too large a scope for the components, but let me close all these files real quick. So, and I'll just get rid of all this extra stuff. Dashboard page, pricing page, and let's do the layouts and then wrap it up. So we went over the pages, we went over the components, and then let's finally do layouts because these are some of the biggest things. And these are kind of developer experience things. These aren't really related to server side rendering necessarily, right? But it is really DX friendly. Very DX friendly. Nuxt is an amazing framework. Okay, so layout. Let's build a layout. Let's say we have a dashboard layout or a public layout, I should say. I'll say public.layout.view. And then let's also build. Let me actually steal again. Let's go back to our other project. Right? Good software engineers create. Great software engineers steal. So let's go here. Let's go to our layouts and let's see how many different layouts I had, right? So there was all these layout-esque things. There was an in-app layout, there was a blank layout, there's a default layout. So let's try this default one out. You can see there was a lot of stuff going on, right? Or a few things going on, a chatbot, a few other things. And then let's check out the in-app layout. This was behind an auth wall. So all this check if user's mobile, check if it's authenticated. Let's kind of ignore all that jazz though. That's a little bit too much. Let's just get this in auth layout. I just wanted to make sure I don't need to import any sort of Nuxt page. I think that is what I need to import here. Okay, so boom. Let's steal that. I just wanted to double check on that one. We're back to our public layout. And we could say vbase setup. And let's just make sure our Nuxt page is in the middle. And at the top of the page, this is where we can do some layout stuff. So I could say, here's my header, right? And then maybe below the page, I can have my footer. So here's all of our content. And then we could hard code whatever things we want around this page. So I'll delete the script tag. We don't need it for this. We just need kind of layout CSS-y stuff. So even in this public layout, right? I can even do a sidebar layout. Well, let's see if we can get this public layout working actually. So I'll go to our pages, And if I go to my index page, I do believe I need the script tag, so I'll bring that back in. And if I remember correctly, we have to do define page meta. Let's see, define. All right, we're going back to the file. We're stealing, guys. We're stealing. Hold on. Guys, I hope the audio is coming out okay, because I'm using just a bunch of boxes as my mic stand. So hopefully that comes out okay. But let's see. So if I go to a page here in the old file, let's find some. So let's say FAQ. You can see how big these pages are, right? Just a ton. Actually, this is kind of a smaller one. Let's find one. I think forgot password was it. Boom, define page layout or define page meta, and then we define the layout like this. I do believe Nuxt has that as well, and probably other services, Svelte might have that. But this is how we do it, and we just need to define the layout that we define up here. So if I say public layout.view, let me just rename it to public. I'll go to the index and I'll say, here's my public layout. Let's check it out. Let's see if that header and footer, boom, here it is, pops up right around it. So we can define how the page orientation is very, very, very easily. We don't have to constantly import, footer, header, this, that, the other. And then let's pretend this dashboard page is behind an off wall, and you log in, and then you kind of like a sidebar, and then your content on the right. Let's go ahead and build a maybe like a sidebar layout or something, right? Or you could have a public .view. You could also have an off .view. But I'll just say sidebar. That seems appropriate. And let's do this vbase.setup, and we would have our base sidebar component. So this is maybe how I could set it up, right? Base sidebar component, and then I could say Nuxt page. Let's go back to that public view and make sure we're doing this right with full. Looks like I was using some Tailwind for that build. Okay, and let's go back to the sidebar. We will need to do a class here and say sidebar layout for the class. And basically, this will just be display flex, and that should do our left and right. So if you guys could pretend, right, we have our header and footer. Let's pretend it's for the pricing page as well. So let's go to the pricing page and add this public layout. But then on the dashboard page, we'll put the sidebar layout. So how it looks is, we can even add in our public layout. We could even add that component, right? That base. Matter of fact, let's just do that instead of saying header. Let's just say base link, where we can now navigate our home page, our dashboard page, or not. I thought we'd be able to navigate it pretty easy. Looks like we're what's going on? Let's see what happens. So if I go to pricing, we should see pricing page. npm install SaaS. Okay, I'm just going to do that. Looks like we just need to quickly install that. So I'll open up a new terminal so I don't have to crash the server, paste that in, and it should start installing. All right, let's refresh, see if that fixes our error. Boom. So dashboard page, what is going on? Sidebar.layout. Huh. Okay, let's hard code to it. Excuse me, not that way, but this way. Okay, guys, I will crash the server and rerun it. Sometimes that's all it needs, or this could be a different issue. Let's double check. Boom. So we have our sidebar on the left, right, and our component on the right. So I know it doesn't look right, but we can clean that up obviously pretty quick as well. So, but this way, when we're building a a page, right, and we know it's a dashboard page, you just have to worry about the content. You could already have your sidebar already configured based on your layouts, right? Where maybe I could build this as a sidebar real quick, right? Where it would be sidebar. We could say height, maybe 100 view height, and let me just say background color. We're not going to build it completely out, but just really Jenga brick type thing, right? So we already have, our sidebar on the left, right? When we like zoom way out, we could already have that configured in our sidebar component. And then when I go to build my dashboard page, I just need all my content here that I need to worry about. And then let's say you have a dashboard page, but then you also might have like a table page of something, right? So let's steal this same setup. Let's say your sidebar can navigate to your table, right? Your table.view. Well, if I need to navigate to a different route, right? This is my table page content, and I could just quite literally route to that, and it's already laid out for me. The Jenga brick's already in place. I just need to worry about the content on the right side, or the dashboard stuff on on this page. So, guys, and then let's log out of our app. Let's go back to the home screen, right? And we're back to the home screen. So we have our home, right? We could go to that, the home page. Then maybe we have a pricing page where you can see the pricing stuff, and it shows you all the pricing stuff. And then let's say you log in and you have your dashboard page. Boom, and you're in. You're in. And I'm telling you, with like Team Syncer, that is roughly how it is. I'm doing all the meta layouts. Let me log into the application real quick. But that is how I'm doing it. I'm doing all these meta. Team Syncer's in Nuxt.js, but that concept is still the same across front end development. Is I'm logging in and I have this logged in layout where I have a sidebar over here and then content on the right. So every new route, I don't need to redo the sidebar. I don't need to redo this top bar. I just need to focus on the material here, right? That's the only thing that's changing. So that layout concept that Nuxt has integrated immediately, it makes it really, really effortless. And then if I sign out, it's a different layout. It's now the public version of the application. So obviously there's a top bar now instead of a sidebar. And I've done this with very many applications where whether it's Nuxt, Next, Vue, React, even an Angular application. So it's something that I would highly recommend is using it. Nuxt is just phenomenal at out of the box. You can integrate it very easily. So that's a little bit bird's eye view of Nuxt. I hope there's something to be learned here. I hope it was a good tutorial for you guys. Comment below if you want more granularities with it. I have no problem doing that. So, but I will see you on the next one. Cheers.